What's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 208, and we're recording on October 17th, 2022. I'm Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform, sub to us on YouTube, and join the SojuTalk Discord and be a part of the nation. All right. No announcements this week. No sponsors this week. We are going to cover 4 songs. We're covering Dreamcatcher's Vision, Kep1er, We Fresh, SSERAFIM, Antifragle, and I-DLE's Nude. Yeah, these names. Okay, but this past week there was like a ridiculous amount of music that came out. Some songs we're not gonna cover this week are the Mamamoo song, Ilila or something. I think that's how you say that. There was Icheon had a solo debut. Baekho had a solo debut. Eunbi released the song. Akdong, Chanhyuk, Wonho, N-Flying. A bunch of people released music. So we're going to make a compromise here, right? The 4 we're covering today were the 4 that got the most votes. So they objectively won. But because next week isn't looking too packed, we're going to put, let's say, the top 5 songs that didn't get covered this week. We'll add them onto next week's vote as well. So there's a good chance we'll cover some of them. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair, right?
I think that's pretty fair. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's what's happening there. So if we didn't cover one of the songs you wanted us to cover, there's a good chance we'll probably cover it next week. But the first song we're going to cover today is Dreamcatcher's Vision. It came out on Tuesday, October 11th. They are from Dreamcatcher Company. Debuted 2014 as Minx. Y'all should check out some classic Minx music. It's hilarious. And 2017 as Dreamcatcher. Their last 3 songs were Maizan, Because, and Arai, with 2 music show wins so far. Okay. I think Vision is a song that is similar to Maizan in a sort of realm of those songs, right?
Yes.
I think Dreamcatcher is doing their music these days. It's more grounded in actual like rock, I think, these days.
Yeah.
Whereas previously, as Warren says, it was more like anime rock type of deal, right?
Anime rock is real rock music.
I am someone who is more predispositioned to like the older Dreamcatcher songs. But I can still appreciate that Dreamcatcher is releasing a quality song every time they come out. They are fairly consistent with their music. I think Vision's a pretty good song. I like the deep, hard rock aesthetic that they have going on.
Yeah.
Same. I dig the package. I dig the overall package. I think the production of this feels a lot more approachable than some of the more anime rock stuff they've done, which, don't get me wrong, I like that too. But I think this feels a lot more natural, and if anything, put together, really. A lot of this felt like very well refined in terms of production as well. There was very clear where they're pulling a lot of these sound inspirations from. It sounded almost synthwavy a little bit. If you guys follow indie rock, there's a band called Glencheck, which, you know, they have a pretty solid following. Their recent album sounds a lot similar to this, or straight off the first track. There's a lot of similarities in the arrangement and the way the melodies flow. And what do you know? One of the Glencheck guys is actually in the production. And I think stuff like that really adds to making a sound that sounds very well put together, you know, just very consistent throughout the entire track. And I really dig that, you know? Yeah?
Yeah, I feel for me, I do hear the similarities with Maison. I think I would say between the 2, I prefer Maison, but I appreciate this.
I agree.
This consistency. I feel like it was another iteration of like a very similar sound for them. One thing where I'm kind of getting like, I kind of wish it would have been different is the use of the green screen. In the music videos.
Okay, we talked about this last time.
Yes, I feel it's a common thing now, and I feel like it makes sense that they would use it because a lot of their concepting is very fantasy, kind of like sci-fi
it's like
here and there.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It kind of feel like Mad Max at times to me.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, it makes sense. You're trying to get the graphics there. But I don't know. I feel like something about the shots and the static view of the green screen maybe kind of made it seem very like not quite 3D, 4D. I don't know, like very like one dimensional for me. So I feel like that's one thing where like I kind of liked to have a little bit more done in that aspect to match the music, because I feel like the music is really cool. I just feel like sometimes I get distracted by the sets and the graphics going on, where I'm like, I don't know if this is on par with what I'm listening. But
just so I kind of understand what you're saying, are you saying the graphic finish is too distracting, or not well finished, or too different from the song, or?
it feels like it's trying to complement the song, but it ends up being distracting to me because it's very obviously, I don't know, like, it's not that it's low quality, because I don't think that's the issue. It just feels like it's done in a way where it's not, it doesn't feel like it's like they're there, of course, right? Like, it feels like it's very obviously there's a line where you're trying to fool the audience of like, oh, green screen is being used here, but here it feels like, oh, it's quite obvious that it's green screen.
I think where I kind of agree is the song feels a lot less cartoonish and feels a lot more grounded and
True,
real.
yeah.
But that's definitely not the case with their music videos, where there's consistently, if not more, cartoony and like video gamey
Concepting,
and
yeah.
anime.
I like it.
That's, you know,
It reminds me of Cyberpunk the video game, dude. I like
Yeah,
it.
I think the issue with those type of concepts though is that if you don't really polish it and like pay attention to the details, and like of course like the graphics have to be convincing, it ends up being a little distracting, you know?
So are you saying like, okay, let's say like Sua's on the screen and there's like green smoke and green lighting all over the place, but she's not reflecting any green light, right? Is that throwing you off? Something like that?
There's like a disconnect.
Okay, I could see where you're going with that.
so you're saying the graphics is cheap and not well done, Anita, is basically
they
what
look like
you're
they spent a
saying.
lot of money though, Warren.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm translating what Anita's
like,
saying.
That's
Don't
not what
blame
I
me.
said. No. I feel like there's definitely
Is it ruining your immersion? Is that what you're trying to say?
maybe a little bit, or maybe because it's done for a lot of the frames, like a lot of the shots that we get, they're using the green screen. Maybe that's where like, okay, I have enough time to really like look and see what's going on behind them. So then I feel like, I notice that it's a little bit not quite as convincing. Maybe.
Are you one of those people, Anita, that like look at like sci-fi movies with lots of visual effects and you go, they didn't use a practical set. They're using CG. I don't like this. Are you one of those people, Anita?
It seems like she's that type of person.
I'm not that sort of person, but I do feel like I tend to be a little more critical of the use of CGI and graphics, because I feel like it can be good. I feel like it's not always like, I wouldn't say that I'm like, oh, you need to use like the highest end of graphics design to make it look great. But I feel like if you are intending it to look a certain way and you don't make it that as convincing, it does have a negative effect on the overall product. But maybe I'm just being very nitpicky on this type of genre.
I think to kind of put the finishing bow on this section of the conversation, I think what I'm getting at is that this feels less Star Wars and Star Trek-y and more Power Ranger, Super Sentai kind of visual level, you know, which is not a bad thing.
Y'all are haters. I like this music video.
What's wrong with Power Rangers? I like Power Rangers.
Maybe the reason why I am being so critical is because I do enjoy the concept. I just wish it was a little even pushed a little more, you know, because I feel like it can get there. But I get it. Like budgets, that's a thing. Like getting the right amount of time for editing, that's also an issue. So I see it. I just
this is one of the most like HD music videos we've seen in a while. It's so HD.
Yeah.
What?
What?
What do you mean it's HD?
It's super high definition. All the shots.
It's just regular 4K.
Is it? Well, why doesn't everyone's music video look this good then? That's what I thought. Even the close-ups I thought looked really good. Like the lighting and all of it.
Close-ups are good.
Look,
it's other people.
I like the music video. Don't blame it on me. I'm just translating what Anita's saying over here. Just putting that out here.
Man, of all the things to nitpick, you nitpick the goddamn cool music video.
Let's go back to the song a little bit, because I have a couple more stuff to say.
I have some qualms. I got a qualm.
Yeah, you got a qualm? You go first, yeah.
Dami's rap verse, right? she references Jackie Chan in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't make any sense, or there's no rhyme or reason why you would name drop Jackie Chan there. Is you're not talking about doing stunts, you're not talking about fighting people. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't like the fact that sometimes in K-pop, I think it's more regular these days. People are like name dropping people or brands just for the sake of it, for no rhyme or reason, right? I'm not a fan of that. I think like if we think about how people properly reference things, the most popular thing right now is the glocked up big t-shirt Billie Eilish, right? It makes complete sense as to what they're going for there, right? There's an aesthetic. It makes sense because he's talking about big t-shirts like Billie Eilish.
There's a follow through.
It makes sense. The logic makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, wow, that's a great word puzzle he just put together for me, right? But here they just randomly drop Jackie Chan, and I'm like, eh? Jackie Chan? Like, I don't know. It ruined my immersion a tiny bit.
I do agree with you. I feel like lyrics is one side of the song that I didn't quite enjoy, whereas it's a clear continuation of their last song, Maison, right? It's very clearly going along the lines of this Earth falling apart situation. And whereas that track was very clearly saying, please, someone fight for us, please. This song is more like, I'm gonna fight for y'all. I'm the fighter now.
It felt like to me they were basically saying like, we need to rise up and fight, and I'll give you a vision of what the future can be. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's really cool. I just think it was a little like, I think it could have been a little more focused, similar to the way Maison was. Whereas this one felt a little more too generic too general in terms of I will fight, I will fight and punch.
You know what the issue is with both of these music videos is they don't put a face to the antagonist.
Yeah,
that's why it feels a little disjointed because there's random dudes getting like force lightning at certain points in this music video.
Force lightning.
But what is their agenda? Why are they so bad? Like what have they done that is so terrible? Yeah. I think if we explored that a little more, it would really enhance the messaging that's going on here.
So you're saying we need a Black Mamba in there?
We need something.
That would be nice. That's
like
cool.
The last song was like "Save the Earth." It's like, oh, I guess from pollution or something, right?
That was the assumption.
Yeah.
And then this one, it's like, let's rise up. It's like, well, against who? You know, who are we rising up against?
The people who are wearing red suits and have gas masks.
The red suit gas mask people.
Yeah.
But it seems like the Dreamcatcher members are so overpowered that they don't need our help anyway. You know?
That's why they're fighting for us, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. We say all this, but I do think the song was like, this is my favorite Dreamcatcher song. Title track so far. I said that about Maison.
Ever? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Remember how I didn't like Boca and y'all were?
Oh no, I know you didn't like a lot of the Dreamcatcher.
I didn't
songs.
like a lot of their songs that you guys were like, oh, Warren's tripping on hot sauce or something again. You know, like, I don't know. I definitely feel like going with this direction is not only more approachable, but better suits their talent. And it's a lot more grounded and a lot more, I don't know, just really, really well put together. It is just overall package is really, really well done.
I think that for such a small company, Dreamcatcher company, formerly known as Happy Face Entertainment, has a set vision for their group that they're unwilling to budge from, and I think it is to their benefit that it's like that. They know what they want to do. They are presenting a certain aesthetic that no one else is doing. They have a clear path going forward, right? I think all of this is just pointing to the fact that they're well ran. They have the right kids in place, and it's just working. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. I agree. And you can very clearly tell because from my perspective, I feel like it gets better every comeback.
Yes, and they're consistently decent. Even if you're not the biggest fan of the certain song that's coming out, it's never like, man, that was a stinker, right? It's just like, it's all right. It's just not my taste, right? But I think that's some testament because overall, if you look at all the Dreamcatcher releases, people might not be fans of certain songs, but fairly consistently good throughout. So I think that's they're doing a great job there. Okay, want to move on to the second song? We got Kep1er, aka Kep1er, with We Fresh. They are from Swing/Wake One. They are the winners of Girls Planet 999. They debuted in January, although they had one in 2021. So that's how the dates break down. Their last songs were Up and Wadada with 4 music show wins so far. This is interesting song, right?
Okay.
I feel like on face value, this is my favorite Kep1er song out of the three.
Really?
I feel like it is.
Huh?
Really?
Huh?
You like this more than Up?
Wait, actually, am I tripping? Is it the complete opposite?
Really?
I thought we
think
liked
that-
Up. Yeah.
I really liked Up.
Yeah, I really liked Up too.
No. Okay, Wadada, no, because I didn't like the Supersonic. You remember? I was a huge anti of the Supersonic.
Remember how many
Let me-
comments we got because we thought Supersonic is not a noun?
Oh wait, no, never mind. Up is way better than this. Never mind. I just
Okay,
listened to
I
it.
was worried for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot their discography for a second. Good lord.
That being said, the fact that I almost considered this better than Up means it must have been decent, right?
Yeah. I felt like a lot of this felt like Wadada, but like a little more focused and a little better put together. That's my takeaway. It's like Wadada 2.0, but like better than Wadada.
No, you're right. This is it's in the same type of song as Wadada and now Refresh. But if you listen to them back to back, you could say, all right, same direction, clearly, right?
Right.
And a lot of the crap that was bad about Wadada is now pretty much fixed in Refresh, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay, we're still following the general same sound, right? It's high energy, EDM. This
Dun, dun,
people
dun,
call
dun,
this noise music. There's still a lot of cuteness going on, so it's like, we're trying to balance
yeah.
the best of both worlds kind of situation. But I do feel like they do a better job of like Wadada had this thing where like it'll skip between different like. It'll skip back and forth between like just aggressive high energy and like look at me, I'm smiling. And this tries to achieve both at the same time, which I feel like is a lot more natural. On the other hand, I still feel like the chorus is a little lacking, not the kind of excitement that I was excited for. That pun wasn't intended, but like I was hoping for a little more hype of a chorus and maybe I don't know.
Do you like that breakdown that do you like that?
No, not really, no.
I don't like that either.
Yeah.
To be honest. It kind of reminded me of that trombone game that's kind of going viral right now. There's
What?
like a video game right now where you play.
Oh, I've
it's
seen
like,
it.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
rhythm
yeah.
game, but you play. It's like Guitar Hero, but with a trombone, and a lot of the
Yeah.
noises are very loud and obnoxious in it. This song kind of reminds me of that a
Oh,
tiny
God.
bit. Yeah. It's called a Trombone Champ.
This is a
It's
game?
dude, it's super popular right now, and
I
it's
had no clue.
people think it's game of the year, by the way.
Really?
And it's
Wow.
yeah. But
Wow.
it has a lot of like funky noises, and it's a little trolly. That's how I felt like the breakdown was.
I did, yeah. Maybe I wasn't a big fan of the drop. I did enjoy the bridge after the second chorus into the third chorus, where they do like a whole punk guitar thing, and then they do this. They repeat yeah, and then they start suddenly like singing in in a more calm register, I guess. And I guess that's kind of stereotypical to do, but the whole flow of like introducing the punk guitars, and then going chanty, and then going into like the vocal refrain before going into the final chorus. That just felt really, really well done and just really, really well paced. And that was easily my favorite section of the song. It's just really well controlled stuff.
Anita, opinions?
I feel like I'm on the uncommon opinion here. I just
Not good.
for this, I think what I was struggling with this song was that there was a couple of changes in the instrumental, like Warren mentioned, like there's a punk guitar sound
There's a breakdown.
that comes and goes, and then there's like a sped up part where like they do a lot of like a clapping noise that I can remember, and then we go into the chorus, and then it sounds like a very happy, and then it goes very intense. I found it a little too overwhelming, where we were going like high energy and then kind of going back down a little bit and then high energy again, and the sound I thought was trying to mix a couple of things at the same time. Same thing with like the visuals, like their outfits, the sets.
It's a
and, like,
little all over the place,
It
right?
was a lot, like a lot of the. I think every member had like their own set, like their own little section.
Like Mashiro
Yeah.
is like she's defusing a bomb. Chaehyun has like an armored vehicle. Shan Ting's doing like kung fu
Stretching
type deal, and then it's like Bahia is like in the bamboo
sword.
forest with a sword, all things like that, right?
Yeah, and I mean they were cool. I just felt like it was a lot of like switching here and there between the members, also the sound and like the concepting. Like, yes, I definitely agree. Like they're trying to do a good mix of like both the cutesy side and the more like, I guess, kind of girl crush, I guess, type of vibe. And I liked the visuals, like the outfits, the makeup, they were really, really nice. I just felt like it was going by really fast. I don't know. It felt like a little too much.
You know what's unfortunate? Well, number one, I'm not a fan of this music video, right? I think that the chorus is supposed to be super high energy, and it is, right? In the final chorus thing we get at the end, they're in that straight line and they start doing the choreography, and it's really badass for like the 2 seconds they showed us it. And then it just went to people doing like the trademark signal for the song or whatever. When I was like, no, stay on the wide shot. Show us the choreo. It's such
Don't
a great
switch.
shot.
Stay in
Don't
one
switch.
shot,
And
please.
they keep switching. The first chorus, we didn't even get to see the cool line thing they did, right? Or like even the choreo at all. And then the second time they finally give it to us, I was expecting them to just hold that whole shot for the whole like dance chorus part, right? And they don't. And it's so unfortunate because I think that really could have brought it all home.
I think where this concept could have worked a little more differently is having 9 people have their own each individual concepting in the music video. That sounds good on paper, but I think it's a little overwhelming to
That's a
actually
lot.
utilize all of that. Especially in a track like this where like every member, their parts are changing like bar to bar to bar. That's very,
That's true. Yeah,
right.
a lot of switch.
Right. If it was one of those songs where like each member consistently had like 4 bars or 8 bars and then 4 bars instead of like bar, 2 bar, that I feel like that's where the pacing gets out of control a little bit in terms of the visuals. Although I will admit, like you mentioned, individually it's really, really cool. It's just I had a little bit of trouble like staying focused because like there was like, I don't know, just too much going on in that aspect.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. So there was a lot of 9 individual shots where you got a lot of screen time per kid, right? Because it's their concept in each one of them. I feel like certain kids, like Shan Ting, Hikaru especially in this music video, did very well in front of the camera, right? They did extremely well. It made complete sense. They're essentially you're acting in a music video, right? I thought the acting was on point, right? I think there's other members of the group. I ain't gonna name specifics. I think that like they're not super used to being in front of a camera in this capacity, right? So I think a lot of the people were given the direction like, oh, I know what this song's about. Like, we fresh, we cool, right? And I think they defaulted to giving like aggressive glares into the camera. And there wasn't a lot of variety in the facial expressions for some members. And I was like, I watched back a couple members. I'm like, you did the same facial expression 6 times in a row, right? Like, I don't know. And I was talking to a couple people on the Discord, and they think a lot of these, for some reason, some of these pandemic debuting groups, right? They said that their observation is for some of the groups, the stage performance isn't there yet.
I mean,
I don't know if I agree or disagree with that. But that being said, I just felt like at some points we had these awkward close-ups, and I think it took away from the music video a little bit.
I do agree. Some of the close-ups, individual shots felt a little awkward. I don't have a trouble with them making the same facial expression over and over again. It's not like I have 12 different facial expressions. Then again, I'm not an idol, but like then again, like I mean, these they're people.
Yeah, I think saying 12 the same facial expression is the wrong way to put it. It's just like it felt very stale. Is the better way for me to put it.
Yeah, that's where I kind of agree. Is because I realize some of the idols I like also have like maximum 3 facial expressions, but they have a lot of impact. I just don't feel that way with some of these folks. Again, can't name who, won't name who. But maybe the people on the Discord that you just mentioned are right. Maybe they do have a point, because that's a common thing people say, right? Like the more you perform in front of people, the better you become as a performer. And
it takes time.
right, it takes time. And Kep1er came at a time where some of them didn't have extensive amounts of training.
That's true.
It also came down to it also comes down to the director, I think.
That's
video.
yeah.
But we
That could be a hand
See,
there.
yeah, this is where I feel like, again, doing the individual shots is a cool idea on paper, not so much in execution, because if you split up your production time and team into 9 different sets for
Holy
9
crap.
different members, that's a lot of time you're splitting up. You got to move quickly, you know, not enough time for some of these shots. You know, that's what I think. So if you, I haven't, I mean, obviously I'm not like involved in like the filming industry or music video industry or whatnot, but like the stuff I've seen for like other stuff that's like behind the scenes, a lot of the shots in the beginning are like technically warm-up shots where they just kind of, you know, warm up to the camera and get ready. So it takes time to like, you know, warm up to the camera, start making various facial expressions, you know, start pulling out a lot of impactful charisma, character, you know, all that. And my guess that I'm guessing because I don't know what happened behind the scenes is that maybe they didn't have that much time in terms of splitting the music video into 9 different shots for 9 different folks. They're 9 people, right?
I also don't feel like I don't think it's us being overly critical, because if you watch like the SSERAFIM Antifragle video afterwards, in terms of the Youngie, the acting that's going on, or the what they're trying to do, it's like night and day, right? Like these are the SSERAFIM kids look like they were like, if you don't act this out well, you gonna die. You know, that's what it felt like to me.
Well, yes, and I feel like they are in a bit of a better position to do that there, because for 2 reasons. One, most of the members of SSERAFIM have been active as performers for a longer time than Kep1er has been. And the other part of it is their concepting is a lot more focused and a lot more clear. Like they're the badass girls that like to ride motorcycles. That's as simple as it gets.
Kep1er, if you were to define them, it's like noise music hypeness, right? That's about what their sound is, right? Like,
how do you visually portray noise music hypeness on your face? You know, like that's
that's honestly a great point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if I was in that position, what face would I make? You know, like what else could you do? No, actually, that's a great point. Okay,
It's hard.
It's hard. It's
like,
hard.
with their concepting, what are you supposed to do? Like because they gave them a lot of badass concept, but the sound is very positive and upbeat, right?
It's a mix of a lot of things.
Right,
That's what happens when you try to mix and balance things. It's just you got a lot of stuff on your plate, and it's just one plate. You know, like it's like trying to eat too much on a single serving of cafeteria food. That doesn't make any sense. But you get the idea.
Yeah. All right. I think we've said enough about WeFresh. Let's move on to the next song. SSERAFIM with Antifragle. They are from Source. Debut 2022. Their other song was Fearless, which they won 4 music shows for. This is interesting. This is a K-pop reggaeton song, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. I saw some of the teasers. I'm like, are they really going to? Are they going to? And they did. Now, I feel like this is one of those songs that's going to be very decisive for people. Like, you either going to be, like, completely down for this song, or you're going to be like, what the hell was that? I'm on the side that I thought this was fantastic. I thought this was a great time.
Yes.
I really liked it.
I'm on that side as well.
I liked all the reggaeton aspects they threw into it, even in terms of, like, they pronounced certain sections like reggaeton singers do, which I thought was crazy.
Intonation,
the beat, the chorus, the dancing, it was all very like reggaeton, and I thought it was great.
What?
Oh, Anita, I thought you were gonna say something.
Well, I'm also on that side as well. To be honest, I think when I think we talked about it last week of like what the sound was gonna be like, right? I hadn't seen any teasers at the time. I was thinking like, okay, it's not the first time that I've seen a reggaeton take from K-pop, but I found this very interesting because there was the visual combo of like the very like cool and like stylish concept that they have, right? Like very very chic. Like, this is the thing that I associate with them, the SSERAFIM, and this sound. I feel like, oh, this is very interesting. I like how they're managing both, like you have enough aspects where like, okay, yes, I see where you're coming from sound wise, where the vision was there, and it makes sense with their debut. It still feels like, oh yeah, this is this group. This is the building of this identity. I thought that was very smart.
Right. Visual identity wise, I wasn't very satisfied with when we got their debut, which I don't remember the Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the shots in the concepting in Fearless felt very cliched and a little too like stereotypical and in the box, like, oh, look at me, I have a leather jacket on, therefore I'm a badass person. Whereas this one, I feel like does a little more that's like outside the box. Like, look at me, I'm playing a guitar, which I guess it's not too far off. But I was getting a lot of this felt like it was composed in a way, where it felt a little less like out of the box, like, oh, look at me, I'm badass kind of thing. And that's where I was kind of buying their concepting a little more. Same goes for the visualization of everything. Same goes for the music as well, because reggaetons, I think it was a brief period after we were done with Moombahton where we started doing reggaeton for a bit. And it was a very pop like Moombahton inspired reggaeton, where I was like, I don't think I can call this reggaeton. This one is definitely a lot more real in that aspect.
Yeah, it felt like a tiny. It felt more authentic than some of the other things we've had in the past.
Yeah.
I thought,
and just feels like a lot less like pop music and just more like reggaeton music, and I dig that. I
Yeah.
really, really dig that. I think that's really, really cool, and I think that's where some of the shots in the music videos feeling really, really cool as well. But sorry, going back to the song a little bit. There was two things that I wanted to kind of mention that I want to nitpick on a little bit. Is that one, it's a little repetitive, where it feels like the beat's great. The beat, don't get me wrong, the beat's great.
Nice.
But I
banger.
feel like it could have been a little more dynamic, just a little more. And I feel like that's in part due to the reason that the role that the rap plays in this song doesn't actually do a good job of what it's supposed to do, and that the rap, I think, is supposed to play the break in between the verse and the chorus, right? It's supposed to build up into the chorus. I feel like that doesn't really happen, partially because the beat isn't very dynamic, but also partially because what is that rap? I wasn't big on it. I'm sorry. It just
Yeah, some of them are like da 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 da, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you not like the intonation though? Like the
Yeah, those parts
the
where they
lion
sang in
part?
a da 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 da. How'd you feel about those parts?
So it happens.
I like it. It's so weird, dude.
Okay, I understand. Like, I definitely agree that this is gonna be a part where like either you find it like very very catchy and you like it, and that's why you like the song because of those parts, or that's what turns you off from the song.
Here's the thing. I like the song overall. I think if anything, I like this a lot more than Fearless. But like, I just, my eyebrows are raised a little bit during those sections, and I'm thinking to myself, the beat's great, the sections leading up into it and leading out of it is great. Would have been so much greater if the rap was actually really great too, instead of like a lion like that. That's cool.
It was great, Warren.
It was alright.
Good.
It was good.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do like the lyrics of that part. I really do. Yeah. The lion part aside, at one point Kazuha goes, and I had to read the lyrics for this because I couldn't understand what she was saying. I'm so sorry. But she says stuff like, "Oh, don't forget, I left my toe shoes in the time behind me," and I'm like, okay.
Oh yes.
That's a clear reference to her time as a ballet, ballet dancer, ballerina. God. And then Sakura goes, "Oh yeah, don't forget about about my career. The career path so far that I've walked on." And I'm like, okay, Sakura can definitely say that because she was a part of AKB, IZ*ONE, and now this. That stuff kind of makes sense, and I feel like that's the kind of lyrics that makes it very much more personal and a lot more grounded and a lot more
what's
unique.
the messaging, dude? This song's about being resilient. and I like that. I think that's a cool character trait of anyone, and I like LE SSERAFIM for having these messages. They're fearless, they're resilient, they're anti-fragile. I wonder what's next on the horizon in that type of messaging that they're doing. I like it though. I think it's fun.
It's gonna be another one like Unbreakable or.
I didn't realize how much reggaeton I had actually listened to. It's not like I'm going out searching for reggaeton, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a reggaeton connoisseur. I ain't looking up the reggaeton lately. I think the first time was back in the day when so we had a couple Dominican kids in my elementary school, right? And that was when Daddy Yankee first popped off back in the day. So we were all listening to it. Everyone, all the Catholic school kids were listening to the reggaeton at the one point, right? So that happened. And then my other major exposure to reggaeton is through FIFA soundtracks every year. FIFA, the soccer game.
It's
so if you actually know, FIFA has a really good playlist every single year because you're gonna sit in the menus all the time when you're playing FIFA, right? And they always include 1 or 2 reggaeton songs every year. And that's where I was like, why does this sound so familiar? This Antifragle. Then I looked up some of the old FIFA songs that I used to listen to. It's very similar. That being said, I think this is a great song. When you're brushing your teeth and this comes on, you're gonna start twerking your ass. You know, it's a good one.
Why did you mention toothbrushing in general?
I don't know. I feel like this is that song where you're like doing something and then it comes on. You're like, ooh, right? You know, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is a start dancing song. This is a good time. Overall, I'm liking LE SSERAFIM. I think that the kids are doing really well. Sakura, God bless her, because she has improved so much from the AKB days. It's or the HKT days. It's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It's incredible how good she's gotten. I think Chaewon is absolutely killing it. We know Yoonjin was good. Kazuha's doing her dancing thing. She's throwing up the leg. It's great. And then Eunchae's a really good dancer. I didn't even know who she was.
She really stood out this time. Yeah.
Yes, Eunchae was really good. I think that LE SSERAFIM is showing that these I think LE SSERAFIM and New Jeans are showing that 5 is a great number right now. Not having
it's a really nice number.
It's like a 5 or 6 is a fantastic amount of kids right now, right?
Whatever happened in the past, I'm happy with the 5.
Yeah. I'm really liking these smaller group numbers. I think it's great, and I think you have a lot of screen time then for each kid, and they could show what they're good at. I think it's overall very smart.
Do you guys? Yeah. Before we wrap up, I want to note that this song is easily the most memorable of the 4 we have today.
It is.
Yes.
100%.
That chorus of NTTTT fragile is not leaving my head. Good Lord.
This is one of those earworm songs where I think that even if you don't like the song, this is one of the most memorable songs of the year we've had so far, I think.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember I heard it once and then immediately I was like,
like the songs I got in my head still are like Love Dive, I got Attention, and I got the Antifragile. Those are the songs that are bouncing in my head still.
Wow.
Right now. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say this song is like at the level of those two in terms of how good it is, but in terms of like earwormness, I would say it is.
Earwormness, I would guess more than those two, to be honest.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this is a straight up earworm song. All right. I think we talked about LE SSERAFIM. I'm really liking what they're doing. Source is doing a great job. Finally, we have G-IDLE with Nude, or as they say, Nude. They are from Cube, debut 2018. The last 3 songs. The last one was the hit smash Tomboy. Then they had Hwa and Dumdy Dumdy. 36 music show wins so far, and they did 700,000 pre-orders for I Love.
Oh wow,
that's a big number.
That's a big boy number.
That's a great number for G-IDLE. That being said, I don't know what I watched, y'all. Like, I'm so confused still with this Nude song.
I feel like honestly, music video wise, right? So I guess this episode I'm focusing a lot on the visuals. The burlesque theme, pretty cool. I think it's compact enough where like, okay, you can do a lot of different things with it, like your own take, right? Like how you're gonna make it interesting, like fun. And I think it was pretty well done. Like I didn't think it was like, oh, this is too similar to something else. I feel like I saw the references. I was like, okay, I get it. I see where this is going. There was just music wise, there was also this aspect of like a little bit of switch ups where like you had like that burlesque old timey sound for a little bit, and then we went to like a more modern beat, and then it felt like we were trying to combine them in the chorus, and then we go back and forth again in the verses. I wouldn't say I minded as much as other songs recently with the switch ups, but I did feel it. I felt like, oh, we're going back and forth a lot, and then there's this whole aspect of the burlesque that's trying to tie this all together. And I don't know, I feel like it was a little bit too much at times.
Here's the thing. Sampling apparently is the biggest trend of 2022.
You're right.
Blackpink's doing it. IVE is doing it. G-Idol's doing it. They're sampling Habanera from Carmen. Pretty famous aria if you know what this is. And actually, you know, even if what I just said doesn't make any sense to you, look at Habanera from Carmen. You'll recognize
You've
it
heard
immediately,
it, yeah.
right? They sample the whole thing into the chorus. And to a degree, I feel like it works only because that's the same way, you know, that every other song does it. And that's where I feel like that took me away from it a little bit. Now, the difference between Nude and a lot of the other songs is that Nude has a concept, it has a narrative. It makes it very clear why they're kind of sampling Habanera. It makes it clear why they're going after the sound. There's a clear message with Marilyn Monroe and all this
References.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very clear what the message they're trying to tell is. Now that being said, even though Tomboy was incredibly wildly successful, I feel like a lot of the messages or the way the messages were told was a little too in the box. And for here, I feel a little bit of the same. Although I will admit, I was doing a little more research into their press stuff and whatnot. I personally wasn't aware that Marilyn Monroe apparently had a side of her that was very progressive and intelligent.
Let me explain. So, for some reason, I watched Soyeon was on I Live Alone like 5 months ago, right? In the middle of the summer or something. It was a long time ago, and for some reason, I think I watched it because G-Idol was coming back this week, right?
Yeah.
So I watched it. She is now at the level at Cube where she leads like concepting meetings where she says this is going to be our direction for the next release. I know it's in like 3, 4, or 5 months, but this is what we're going to do. And they just kind of sit there and listen to her. And she had a PowerPoint and everything. And she was leading this meeting saying, we want to go for this. We want to go for this. So the main thing she talked about in that meeting was the next song. She got inspiration from Marilyn Monroe, where Marilyn Monroe had this public image where she was like a sex icon. She was a blonde. People perceived her as not being too intelligent. But on the flip side, she was a studious person. She liked to read a lot. She was introverted. She was a thinker, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So what Soyeon said in that episode was she wanted to release a song showing that when you're nude, when you're showing your true self is something positive and you should do that, right? That's basically, she wants to celebrate that. So that's what they're going for here, right?
Right.
And I could see what they're trying to do. That being said, a lot of this concept and music video and song is super heavy-handed with everything.
Yeah, it's a little too in your face about it, which sometimes works. For me in this case, I thought it was a little too much. I do appreciate the message. Don't get me wrong. Being truthful about who you are and not giving a crap about whatever that other people think. I respect that. 100% respect that, especially if it comes from a pop artist that's coming off the heels of possibly the biggest hit of the year, right? At this point,
it's a contender. Yeah,
right. And at this point, the lyrics are going, I don't care if this song is not going to be as popular as Tomboy. That's straight up. There was a point in the lyrics that mentioned that, and I was like, okay, bet you're kind of badass in that aspect. However, on the flip side, people will still compare it to Tomboy. You are a pop musician, not like a indie artist. Two different types of people, I guess. And that's the kind of perspective I have to look at it through.
Mainstream, basically.
Right. Maybe here's the thing. Maybe it's gonna be popular with the mainstream again because
It's charting well.
It's charting well. I wasn't big on Tomboy. Tomboy was incredibly wildly
Right,
popular.
yeah.
It's number 1 on Genie Real Time and number 2 on Melon Real Time.
Good. Oh my god! Wow. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it was a little too dynamic, a little too campy.
Yeah.
So
If I'm to be nitpicky, right?
yeah.
I don't like the way they pronounced nude. It was like very heavy.
Okay, that I have less of an issue with because that's how everyone in Korea pronounces it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The other thing was the grammar in the subtitles. Like, I'm a nude. That's a weird phrase, right?
I think it's been a common thing throughout.
Lately, they just throw off in front of a lot of things.
Title
Like
text.
not only G-Idol, people lately have been throwing like, yes, I'm a something, and it's like sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Like a supersonic.
Yeah, well, apparently, and like I was already like, all right, Antifragile is a weird one. I had to look up if that's a real phrase. It like is, but no, it's the way I'll put Antifragile is like it's a phrase, right? But it's very rare that people actually use it, you know?
That you would hear it.
Yeah,
in
and like nude
conversation.
feels like Soyeon learned the word nude and just ran with it, right? And she's like, my new favorite word. And
Well,
you know,
I will have you know, dictionary.com says nude is an adjective or a noun. So, poo poo pee pee off, sir. It actually is a noun.
yeah, but isn't the
a
noun mean like a nude as in like a painting that's
Right.
right?
A sculpture, a painting, an unclothed
Yeah.
human figure, the condition of being unclothed, as in to sleep in the nude.
Yeah, but they use the nude. Sleep in a nude. Like that's why it's a little strange to me. I think the grammar's a little funky.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That being said, English isn't Soyeon's strongest suit. I'm willing to say that's all right. It could
They
be
also have
worse.
like there's a Banksy reference at the end with the artwork destroying itself.
Yes. The
I
shredded
thought that was
artwork.
the shredding of the artwork.
I feel
There's just stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
There was another scene near the end where like she's in the YouTube live stream.
Right. I was about to mention that.
Right. Are you gonna talk about her or the chat on the right side?
I was gonna say I didn't notice the chat, but I mean you can go into detail on
Right.
that. I was
let's
gonna
talk
say
about her
that
first.
that section, right? It was quite short. Like it didn't really have a lot of explanation what was going on in that reference and the Banksy reference. I feel like there was an illusion of like, okay, we have the campy side of the burlesque thing, which was a majority of the music video, I want to say. I guess what would have sold me more on this message and like the elaborate like build up to this would have been a little bit more of like, oh, you know what? Like this is not the actual thing. Like
Okay,
this is how
Anita, you know what
you're
they're missing?
perceived.
The vulnerability.
Yeah, I feel like we were gonna get to a point where like, okay, you think this is how things are, but here's the reality. Like here's the true self, right? Of the protagonist, right? Of them, right? Because they're the ones that were acting in the music video. So I felt like we were gonna get there, and it feels like we were close to that because we get to a scene where they change outfits, right? And they're like neutral tones, right? The tops, I remember, for the members. And I feel like, okay, so this is kind of like that moment where like we're not in that performer, I guess, perception anymore. And I felt like, okay, maybe that's also the reference to the YouTube video. That's the reference to the Banksy painting. But like it ended at that point. I feel like we didn't get that exposition at the end where like we were kind of shown like this is the true self or like this is
That is
actually the
true.
real.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I feel like it could have been a little bit better explained in that way, but
That's a good point.
No,
They
yeah.
never actually showed us the underside, you know?
I think the moment that also got kind of close to it was the very, very end when it's like a solo close-up shot as Soyeon.
yeah, like we were like almost there, but not quite.
Yeah.
Talk about the comments on the right
yeah.
side of the screen during the stripping scene, dude.
Yeah, no, that was a completely different, I guess, conversation. But she's taking her top off, in the music video, and then it's apparently a YouTube live, so on the right side of it is like a fake live chat, and they're all very aggressively anti all of this, where it's
It's
like,
19 plus, too dirty.
too dirty,
Guys don't like this.
too vulgar,
Show me something
too
sexy.
perverted. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't. Here's the thing. A lot of the concept thing and the argument that the song is making is based off of the fact that, well, the idea that Koreans view the word nude as this perverted, vulgar thing, because, you know, nude, naked, that kind of deal. I don't know. I don't think we live in 2002 anymore. That's where I'm like, is it still that thing where, like, I know Korea's a lot more progressive than we were a couple decades ago.
I don't think it's nearly as provocative as they're making it out to be.
Yeah, that's where I thought. Other part of it was that someone called Jay goes, she can't rap. The issue is, it's very rare for someone to argue that Soyeon can't rap. That's
Yeah.
like that's no. Someone says music for dumb people. Has anyone said that G Idol's music is for dumb people? I don't know. Nobody's argued this thing. I don't know where she got this from. That's where I was like, where did they get the idea for some of these comments?
I also feel like this whole music video was just like a play at, like, how far are they gonna go in this music video? Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like a lot of this was like marketing in terms of, like, the song is called Nude, and they're like, it's like, Jesus Christ, what's gonna happen, right? And if you think about the whole music video, other than that one scene, not that much happened. Like, we just got some burlesque going on.
Here's the thing. The shock factor is definitely there.
Yeah.
In several different scenes. Does the shock factor, is it there for the sake of the shock factor? No, I don't think it is. There's definitely a message. It's pretty built. It's clear what the message is trying to be. Do I think it was incredibly well executed, especially for a message like this? I don't think so. Particularly because they were going a little too far in certain directions in terms of, like, you know, bringing out certain elements rather than balancing what could have been, such as, you know, the thing Anita mentioned with like, you know, showing vulnerability with some of these folks. And you end up with the situation where we're leaning too deep into this burlesque habanera thing, which could have been nicer if it was a little less. That's my takeaway with it. It's just a little too much for me. I do appreciate the message and a lot of what it's saying, because there's a lot of songs that try to put out this message and they just half-ass it so bad that they're contradicting themselves. What song am I referring to? I'll leave that up to you guys. For now, I do think that some of the messaging here is really, really well built, but the way it's portrayed
Execution's just
in the
not
song,
there.
yeah,
Not
that's where I felt a little like it wasn't for me personally speaking.
Anita, did you get any Block B jackpot vibes at certain points
I
in this
did.
song? Oh
I
my
did.
god, I wish
I
they had
did.
leaned more into it, because that's a classic.
I mean, I did get that vibe. And I guess going back to the overall sound, I don't mind it. And I thought it was interesting because I wasn't expecting this as a comeback from them, coming off of Tomboy. I wanna commend, like, the vocal direction, because I felt like the members sounded really, really nice for some reason. I feel like the parts that they had, I felt like, oh, I like that they had this part. I feel like it suited them. So I feel like that was well done in the vocal direction. But yeah, I do feel like there was an aspect of the burlesque, right? Like the very, I guess, campy, more like theatrical in a way, concept that I thought, like, kind of worked, but then it felt a little too much, maybe in proportion to, like, what we were trying to do with the message.
Yeah. One thing to point out, Doug mentioned that this song reminds him of Jackpot,
Block B,
which was written by Zico and Pop Time, who is also on this song.
That makes sense.
Okay, that makes complete
There you
sense
go.
then.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm smart, dude.
Look
I'm
at you.
anti-fragile. Sorry. All right. So those are the songs for this week. There's 4 of them. You know, in the beginning of the show, we said we're gonna try to include some of the songs that didn't get covered to next week. Those songs are potentially Mamamoo's I don't know how to pronounce this one. Is it Ilila? Something like that, right?
Ilila?
Ilila, something like that. We have Tan with Beautiful Eye. Baekho from Newest had a solo debut with No Rules. Lee Chaeyeon, formerly of Ice One, had a solo debut with Hush Rush. Warren really likes that song, by the way. Quantum B
Way to fucking spoil
released
it.
Underwater. Park Ji-hoon released Nitro. Uptension, What If Love. Roy Kim, Take Me Back in Time. Are you sure about that, Roy Kim? Wonho released Don't Regret. Akdong Chanhyuk released Panorama is actually really good. You gotta listen to that one. And then N Flying released I Like You. So we'll take the songs from that list that we didn't cover, and we'll probably throw the popular ones into next week as well. So they have a potential to be covered because there's not too much coming out next week. All right.
Also, just so we're clear, I didn't know about this until very recently. Roy Kim is all clear of all charges. He did nothing wrong, apparently.
Wow. Okay. I did not hear about
Yeah.
this.
Okay, I'm not gonna go into it, but he got yelled. He got flack for something in that.
Well, he wasn't apparently in the group chat that was problematic with Seungri and Junggi.
Yeah. The thing he got charged with was unrelated to that, but all of his friends were involved in the thing. In the burning something.
True.
So it's
Yeah.
still a little sus. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Spice King. It's a segment where the crew will decide which song reigns supreme. Songs that place number 1 on the Soju chart will be declared this week's Spice King, and songs that win Spice King 3 times will gain entry into the Hall of Spice. I said the extra stuff this week because Seulgi's 28 Reasons picked up double crowns last week, so she's eligible for Hall of Spice. Second place was Stray Kids Case 143, and then third place was Treasures Hello. New candidates are the 4 songs this week: Dreamcatcher's Vision, Kep1er's We Fresh, SSERAFIM Antifragle, G-Idol Nude. Okay, I got a chart here. Oh.
Do you have a chart? Are you changing it right now?
Okay, third place is Dreamcatcher, right? Third place, I'm going to put Dreamcatcher.
Oh,
Vision,
okay.
Okay.
Very nice.
Do I put SSERAFIM or do I put Seulgi in first place this week?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put the song I enjoyed more. I'm going to put SSERAFIM in first place. I'm changing my
Let's
chart.
go.
SSERAFIM is in first for me, and then Seulgi's in second.
I understand. Yes. Yeah, I understand very well because I also have SSERAFIM in first.
Ooh, okay.
And I had the same dilemma. I was between Seulgi and SSERAFIM. Seulgi debut, it was very good. I feel like I still have the same feeling of like I kind of wish it would have been a little bit more. I think I also mentioned like it felt like this was also still in the realm of her duo with Irene, Monster. So I feel like a little bit more differentiation would have been nice, but still a great song. So I kept it in second. Third place, I have Stray Kids.
Ooh.
I think surprisingly enough, I found the chorus super catchy, and I feel like even though it wasn't like my favorite style, I guess, of the Stray Kids sound, I definitely find it catchy.
Oh boy. Seulgi 28 Reasons. Lovely song. Very impactful for how minimal it is. I have not listened to it once this week. Not on my chart today.
Wow.
Oh. Wow. Completely out.
Case 143 by Stray Kids. I actually listened to it a couple more times. Not on my chart today either. Hello by Treasure. Also not on my chart. I think that's pretty obvious.
Oh, is it all new?
It's all new. Fresh slate. Fresh, clean slate.
All right.
Dreamcatcher Vision on third.
Nice.
Lovely track.
Hey.
It's great. If it was a different week, it could have been first. Just lots of great music this week. Lots of very solid stuff. Just like Antifragile by SSERAFIM, which is going on second. The only reason it's not first? That rap. Not. I'm sorry.
What's on first?
What's on first? Well, we didn't even get to talk about it this week. But Hush Rush by Chaeyeon.
Right.
You are insane, dude.
on
You are
first.
absolutely insane.
Hopefully we get to talk about it next week.
You are insane putting that in first place.
It is a wildly great song. It's
Oh my god.
an easy pop listening number. very quiche and very campy. It's very weird for me to put it on first, but
It is a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think I really like a lot of it. It's great in terms of showing her capabilities as a vocal person. Vocal tone
Okay, good
sounds
thing
out
you said
really
as a
great.
vocalist. Yeah, good thing.
Performance, yeah, not much, but I'm not listening to music for the dance, sometimes. So, also, that chorus is just very addictive and very nice. It's like listening to Harry Styles on crack, almost. Not complaining. Maybe a little generic, maybe a little unpersonal. I'm not complaining. That's just the end result, just good enough to kind of forget about all that.
I can't believe you broke our rules. Not only did you break our rules, but you put Hush Rush in the first place. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
I really hope we get to talk about it now.
Well, yeah,
You
I hope
were
you too.
Crazy town, dude.
Yo,
Okay.
tripping. This is great. This song is great.
All right,
This song is
dude.
lovely.
All right, Gochu Gang did not vote for Hush Rush. I don't think.
No,
But
not a
they
single
have,
vote.
They couldn't.
They have Dreamcatcher Vision in first place with 40 points. Close second was Antifragile with 38. And third place was Sogi's 28 Reasons with 32. So it was very close this week. As a result, because of Warren's dumbass, Hush Rush is in third place this week.
Wow.
5 points. Oh my god. The second place is Dreamcatcher Vision with 7 points. And then first place is SSERAFIM Antifragile with 16 points. Oh my
Dang,
god.
This was strategic, wasn't it?
What the hell was
I
that?
don't- what do you mean strategic? I was just choosing my favorite song of the week.
Anita, we got bamboozled. Straight up.
Right.
All right, give us the show winners.
Yes, we have Blackpink with Shutdown. They won an Inkigayo, giving them the 9th Triple Crown of 2022. Congrats to them.
Wow.
Should
Yeah,
I go through the list?
Yeah, go through the other Triple Crowns this year.
Other Triple Crowns this year were I with 11, Taeyeon with INVU, Big Bang Still Life, Psy with That, G-Idol with Tomboy, IVE again with Love Dive, Nayeon with Pop, and Blackpink with Pink Venom. Congrats.
Nice list.
Yeah,
Congrats.
total of 10 wins with Shutdown so far.
Crazy.
Yep. And another winner, Stray Kids with Case 143. They won on Show Champion, M Countdown, and Music Bank. So 3 total wins for them.
All right. That wraps up part 1 of SojuTalk episode 208. We'll be back after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Hush Rush on the stage.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we're back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 208. Let's talk about some news and events from last week. There's a lot of news, a lot of significant things.
Okay.
The first one, Hype officially announces plans for BTS's military enlistment. It happened. Today, on October 17th, Hype released a publicly disclosed statement to stock investors in regards to BTS's military enlistment and the future plans of the company. So this is a direct quote from that they released it in multiple languages. This is from the English one, right? Quote, group member Jin will initiate the process as soon as his schedule for his solo release is concluded at the end of October. He will then follow the enlistment procedure of the Korean government. Other members of the group plan to carry out their military service based on their own individual plans. Both the company and members of BTS are looking forward to reconvening as a group again around 2025 following their service commitment, end quote. Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
2025. Okay. So it's pretty.
So, yeah, let me read
Together.
some. So they released other statements and gave tidbits to other news agencies. So there was articles all over the place. So I kind of like rounded up everything about it. So here's what's basically happening. Jin will apply to cancel his enlistment postponement at the end of the month in October and will follow the enlistment procedure of the Military Manpower Administration. So a lot of these idols, once in Korea, once you reach like 20 or something, they start saying like, "Hey, when you gonna go to the military?" Right? And celebrities, what they do is they keep postponing it as long as they can go. So Jin's basically like, "Yeah, I'm done postponing. I'm gonna go at the end of October once I'm done with my solo thing." Boom. And then the other members will enlist afterwards. So basically, Jin's gonna go first. And then it seems like in the short term, the individual activities of the other BTS members are scheduled until the first half of next year. So probably by the summer, they're all done with activities, and then they're going to slowly trickle into the military after that.
Okay. They're going to overlap.
So basically then, they're going to go to the military. It takes 18 months at a minimum. They're going to do that, and then they plan to come back probably mid-2025, something like that.
Okay.
Makes sense to me on the timeline. Okay, so the next thing was, okay, here we go. HYBE has prepared for the absence of BTS for many years. In 2023, HYBE will debut 4 or more new teams, including in Japan and the United States. From a mid to long-term perspective, HYBE will continue to produce and debut artists through the multi-label strategy. So we've heard of some of this. There's that group with some of the guys who didn't make Island in Japan. Right, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We heard of that collaboration with Atlantic Records or something like that in the United States, right? Oh no, that's the thing with JYP. Never mind. HYBE is doing something else. They're doing in America, right?
I believe so. I don't recall. I just remember a lot of like global auditions.
Yeah, I think both HYBE and JYP announced these global things in the United States, so that's gonna happen there. And then there's probably some other groups. Oh. Right? Isn't there going to be Island with females, right?
Right, that was
so that's another one.
Mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 3, and then there might be another one somewhere else.
Wow.
Interesting. Additionally, so we heard about Jin releasing some music before he goes into the military, but Suga and RM are also preparing for solo releases.
Okay.
You know, at the end of the day, whether you're happy they're going to the military or sad about they're going to the military, I'm just happy that we got some closure on this. It had been one of the biggest like open lids in all of K-pop for a long time. I'm honestly kind of surprised that they're going on a personal level.
Really?
Yeah. I felt like the cultural value of them was super important, but maybe that's just me. Overall, though, you know, they made a decision. They're going to follow through on it. I'm happy that they gave the public all the information, and it's very transparent.
Yeah, I'm glad they're transparent about it and open about it.
Yeah.
And we have an idea of what's going to happen. Sorry, Anita, were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that it's very thought through. I feel like there was definitely consideration and like members' personal activities also taken into account. So I don't know. I feel like it seems pretty straightforward. So I'm happy that things are working out well.
Yeah. If they do return by 2025, thinking about some of the more popular groups that took like 7 years to wrap this up, like this is pretty quick. It's pretty quick. Yeah. Like Super Junior, that took them a decade.
Forever.
Yeah. I mean, sure they have more members involved, so I get that, but like it sounds like they're trying to get it out of the way as quickly as possible while maintaining a level of solo activity.
Yeah. It's a smart decision because someone like Jungkook, right, could delay like 2-3 years if he wanted to. Because he's 25, right? He could at least like a year or so. But it feels like they're just gonna do it to get it over with quickly. On a business sense, that makes all the sense in the world. Because as Warren said, like Super Junior, it was a revolving door of military dudes for like almost a decade.
No, straight up insane. More than a decade, I think, if I remember correctly.
It was a long time.
Yeah. So. You know, so that was the big news of the week. The second one, IST announced that Victon's Hachan is leaving the group. After careful discussion with the team and the agency, it is decided that Hachan will leave the team as he didn't want to cause more trouble. We mentioned it earlier in September that there was a DUI investigation and he apologized for it. So it seemed like it did happen. So big oof there. As we stated in that episode, there's no reason to drunk drive anywhere, particularly in Korea where there's so many options to get places. Next one, another follow-up. SM Entertainment will terminate its contract with Like Planning on December 31st. The Like Planning is a private company co-founded by Lee Soo-man for album planning and production. SM has paid about 24 billion won, or around 16.7 million USD in licensing fees to Like Planning in 2022 alone.
Oh wow.
So we mentioned it about a month ago that SM seems to be parting ways with Isuman in a major
Right.
capacity.
Mhm.
I think this is a part of that.
Makes sense.
I guess we're gonna have SM entertainment without the SM involved.
Yeah, you would feel like they would
Literally.
keep him around as like a figurehead or something, right? But
I guess
that
he's
being
too
said,
expensive.
he's made like $500 million. They said or
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that. So he's chilling. Next one, T1419 will be rebranding as TFN in a statement shared by MLD Entertainment. So T1419 previously meant Teenager 1419. The new meaning of the rebranded TFN will now be a abbreviation, which means try for new.
What does
Okay.
that mean?
Try for new. Okay.
Please
don't know,
elaborate.
dude.
English
Trying
is my
something
second
new?
language. What does try for new mean?
I have no clue, dude. I don't know what MLD is smoking, but like TFN, ta for now, I guess. Right?
Okay, interesting.
Next one, Stray Kids has surpassed their own record of they sold about 2.18 million albums
Oh, good Lord.
during the first
Wow.
week of the release of Maxident. Maxident is now the fourth best-selling K-pop album of all time, with BTS holding spots 1
Oh.
through 3.
Wow.
Wait, wow. Wow. Fourth
Wow.
place?
Yeah, during
That's
that first
amazing.
week stretch, they are the fourth best-selling K-pop album of all time.
Yo,
That's
yo,
crazy.
yo.
So much money, yo. And then finally, we have like rumor slash funky stuff that normally I don't know to what extent we want to talk about it, but Cypher, they have a member named One, and Kep1er has a girl named Diane, and there was a big dating rumor that went around.
Ah.
Neither side really said anything about it though. But
Okay,
that
so no
happened.
confirmation or anything.
They
um,
basically said they respect their privacy and didn't say yes or no. So
Okay.
think what you will. Take it for what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next one, Ravin of One Us, right? There were big allegations that came out of him being like sort of abusive to an ex-girlfriend. Like
What?
No.
there was like I'm not gonna go into too details because it's pretty graphic, but like they said like he sexually assaulted her. And then there was
Oh,
like a
no.
recording of him like cursing her off on the phone, saying like "I'll stab you" or something like that. Like,
Oh, no.
yeah, there were things like that. Or I don't. Yeah, he was talking. Let's see. So yeah, there was like a recording of him talking, not talking to the person he wants to stab, but like talking to someone and said like I would stab her, and I don't know how confirmed that was. But like One Us, RBW said that One Us is going to continue for the moment as a 5-member group while they investigate what's going on.
Oh.
And should the claims be false, the agency will proceed with legal action. So it is up in the air, but it's messy, is what I'm gonna say.
Well,
I've seen some summaries about what has been exposed of Raven, or allegedly exposed of him. A lot of it is graphic, so trigger warning for people who want to dig deeper into it. But I mean, this is a lot. Some of the stuff that he's being pointed at.
There's like major gaslighting as well.
Oh, yeah. We're not joking about the word gaslighting anymore. This is real stuff. Yeah.
Hey, so for everyone, regardless of validity of these claims, when you're in a relationship with someone, don't be a shitty person. That's all I wanted to say.
That I feel like that doesn't apply to just the relationship. Just don't be a shitty person
yeah,
in general.
to any sort of relationship.
Yeah, just
I think
yeah.
The thing I always say is unless you're really stuck in certain situations, a lot of times you have the agency to separate, get away from things, or make decisions. Hopefully you do is the best way I'll put it. Sometimes people are actually stuck in terrible situations, but if you have agency, you should act on it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, rename your group to TFN. Try for new if you want. You have the
Oh
agency to
no.
do so.
Next week though, you know how I said it was pretty spare, right? So Wednesday WeI, and then next Monday JoYudi and Monsta X's Kihyun, and that is it. Straight up, that's it.
We should talk about Hush Rush by Cheon. Just
Are you
We
are
should
you
talk about that
are you campaigning for that?
I don't know.
He
I'm just
is.
saying it'd be nice if you talk about it. That's all I'm saying. It's just
Okay.
looking at the abysmal amount of votes it got this week. No, just saying, just proposing to some of the folks who might be listening to the show right now that might have the right to vote.
All right. That ends the part 2. So just talk episode 208. We don't have a K-pop activity planned in the after hours, so we're just gonna give a random state of the nation, just talk about some random stuff. So if you are here for just the K-pop, this is your cue to dip out. This has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me this week. We'll see you guys in the after hours after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Bagel, Based Mina, Brian, Shadow, Cotton Ball, Delmonic, Ellie, Genki Boy, Goku Mama, Jacob, Liam's Games and Toys, Luke Daniels, and Jay Parks. Here. Thank you for joining SojuTalk. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erde, Koala, Max, No Bias Luna, Tuggles, and Wolf297.
All right, after hours, aka State of the Nation. We don't have like an activity plan, so we're just gonna talk about what's been going on with us lately.
Yeah.
Fishing season. You would think that it had died down because we entered the fall, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Is it not the
The,
case?
the striped bass, which is this large fish, you can look it up. Striped bass, right?
Bass.
Yeah, they're these giant bass. They could be humongous. They could be up to 50 pounds plus. They're huge. They all of a sudden, like a week and a half ago, all decided to come to New Jersey, right?
Oh wow.
So
Wow.
we had our most busy weekend of the entire year this past
Oh my
weekend.
god.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Even though it is the middle of October, it is
It's
insanity.
cold.
It is
in
cold.
the-
But people
East
are catching
Coast.
so many of these fish right now, and it's a beautiful prize fish. Like it's a pretty looking fish.
This is one of those gigantic fish that I see on like. There's memes about hinge profiles that girls don't want to see, and it's always like.
Yeah, this is that
that
fish.
type of fish.
But it's a gigantic fish, dude.
This is the type of fish that if you catch a big enough one, you don't taxidermy the actual fish, but you would take pictures and get someone to make you a model of like I caught this big ass fish.
Pretty
Like,
much.
it's a beautiful one.
God.
Yeah, so they're in season right now. They're biting all over the place, so we are super busy at the moment, which is great. A lot of money coming in.
That's good.
Just the best thing.
Yeah.
Um,
In October too. Oh my god.
other things, in terms of video games, I've been playing the FIFA lately. I played with Warren some with his friends in the pro clubs, so that was kind of fun. Warren's a fantastic right back after the first 2 games. The first 2 games, he's gonna shit the bed, but starting
rough.
game 3, he's prime Danny Alves. He's amazing.
Every time I play, like the first 2 or 3 games, I'm awful, and then
You're
afterwards,
so bad.
It's the nerves.
He's
You
so
get
bad
into
the
it and
first
then you're
couple
good.
games, but
It's
then
like-
he's good.
Yeah, the first couple games, my rating is always like 5, 6 out of 10, and then it suddenly shoots up to 8. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
I only played once with them, but I'm the left winger on the team, so I am the Ronaldo of the team apparently.
No,
Um,
we have enough people to do a full 11 now.
That's kind of crazy.
You should come.
Pro clubs is always a mess too, so it's fun.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Ultimate Team, which is like the card collecting version. I got super lucky. I got Holland, so my team's crazy. I got Sun this week,
Oh wow.
so my team's getting stacked real quick. That's fun. The other game, Overwatch, came out. I've been playing it with the kids on the Discord. We have a channel. Our catchphrase was dubs only, which means we only win. So even when you lose, you know, we had a good
Still
time.
dub.
So it was dubs only, right? So we've been playing that. That's been fun. Other than that, my nephew is there's a Korean tradition to celebrate 100 days after the child's birth because in Korea back in the day, babies died a lot. So once the baby reached 100 days, it was like a celebration to say publicly show everyone, hey, we had a baby, it survived, fantastic.
Yeah.
So So we're doing that this weekend. So that should be
Oh,
Has
fun.
it been
nice.
100 days already?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
We're
Yo.
on the 100-day celebration.
a
So
while.
everyone's coming down here. We rented a nice room at an Italian restaurant because we are in New Jersey. It's gonna be a fun time.
Nice.
We're doing
Yeah.
that.
The 100-day celebration is always a big deal. Congrats to
100. Yeah.
your nephew.
100
Even
days
though-
and the first
Congratulations.
birthday in Korean are like the big holidays for children.
Yeah. I think
So yeah.
I can't remember if it's the first birthday or the 100-day celebration, but they do this thing where they get a big table in front of the little baby and they lay out a whole bunch of items, right? Like they'll put a wad of cash down, they'll put like a big pencil down,
Pencil. They put
right.
string.
right? They
they
sometimes
put-
put string down.
Yeah.
And
These
like
days they get a little funky. They'll put like a mini soccer ball or
Right,
like
right.
I've seen people
Oh.
add a stethoscope or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like the thing that the baby like picks from the table, that's apparently what they're gonna be like in the future. Like if you, for instance, picked out the wad of cash, it means you're gonna be rich.
You're gonna be rich.
Right.
That's at the first birthday, by the way.
Is it? Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Never mind.
But I remember what I grabbed.
What'd you
grabbed
grab?
What'd you grab?
I grabbed the worst one. I grabbed the string, which means I'm gonna live long.
What do you mean that's the worst thing?
Congrats.
It's the worst one. I got longevity.
You're
That's what I
healthy.
got.
You're gonna be 120.
That's what I got. I got longevity. Same thing when I got a palm reading. The palm reader said I'm gonna live a long time. I was like, God damn it
Dang,
again.
that's double confirmed.
I was like, God, did you say I'm gonna be rich? They're like, no, you gotta live a long time. I was like, I gotta suffer more. But yeah, I got double longevity.
Life does
I-
not
I-
forgive.
My life has a lot of these doubles. Like I was born in the year of the Ram in Zodiac, and I'm a Capricorn, so I'm double rammed up too.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had a lot of things that are doubling up. So I don't know.
It's both the
Space.
east and the west confirming your future.
Yeah. All right. So that's all I really been doing. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just been waiting. Michigan football. We've been doing well. We're undefeated still, which
Oh,
is
yeah?
great.
Yes.
Yep. I think we're ranked 4th in the country at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So that's cool. And then we got a little bit more than 1 month to the World Cup, which I am super excited for.
Oh my god, yeah. In November.
Korea's first game is on Thanksgiving morning.
It's at 8 a.m. Eastern, right?
Yep.
I think
8 a.m.
It-
Eastern, November 24th.
That's really nice. Good
8 a.m.
timing.
Eastern, and we get to verse Uruguay. Good luck to us because Darwin Núñez and Rano Dorajo from Barcelona are gonna try to kick our asses. Yes,
Yeah.
and Valverde from Real Madrid, who's playing out of his mind right now. So
Yeah.
good luck to us.
It's
Yeah.
I'm honestly a lot more scared of Uruguay than I'm scared of Portugal. I'll be honest.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I think Uruguay has a much better team.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Portugal has Ronaldo. Don't get me wrong. Ronaldo's Ronaldo, but Ronaldo's also Ronaldo. So you know that.
I feel like if Ronaldo plays well, they'll win, but they might implode just because they a lot of pressure.
because Ronaldo's Ronaldo. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about Portugal, though, they have Cancelo from Man City, Ruben Diaz from Man City, Bernardo Silva from Man City. They have Leao from AC Milan. Bruno Fernandes from Man United. They're actually stacked.
So
too.
Man City
There's
is what I'm hearing. We're playing
Yeah, they have-
Manchester City.
You're
Korea.
versing Manchester City starters, dude.
Okay,
good,
so,
good luck
yeah.
to us.
FC
Good luck to
Seoul versus Manchester City. Yeah, nah, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Uruguay team has a lot of Spanish league guys, so Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Good luck to us.
Well, we have the best striker from Tottenham.
We have Son Heung-min, who's probably gonna have to play striker.
Yeah.
We have Hwan Hee-chan from Wolves, who doesn't even start at the moment.
But
Then Kim Min-jae, who's the Serie A Player of the Year in Italy. He's gonna have to defend all of these fantastic offensive people by himself, essentially.
yeah.
Good luck to him.
It's gonna
I
be
think it happened.
it's gonna be cool. If we somehow make it out of the group rounds, I will piss my pants.
Yeah, we're gonna need a miracle. I think Mexico's gonna do okay, right, Anita?
Yeah, I think the group is not too bad.
Yeah, Mexico. Let me look up Mexico Group World Cup. Who do you guys got a verse? Poland, so Lewandowski, Saudi Arabia, who you should beat, and then Argentina. That's gonna be
Argentina. Yeah.
I think you're projected to finish second in the group.
Right.
so.
Weren't you
Not
guys
bad,
seed
not
group
bad.
3? What the hell? What? Why is this group so good?
I wish we were in this group.
Yeah, same. What the
And then
heck?
the United States. So United States has been playing terribly, but so has England. So we'll see what happens there. And then there's also Wales, Gareth Bale last World Cup, and we have Iran, who's one of the low-key stronger Asian sides, which never gets any attention.
Wait, yeah, I remember watching the show where they pick out groups. We were like so hoping to get into Group B.
Yeah.
And the moment we didn't, everyone was like, "We're done. We're out."
Because it would have been England, Iran, Korea, and Wales, I believe.
That would have been great.
That would have been a great group for us.
That would have been great.
We'll have to see. Hopefully, our World Cup isn't over after 3 games, but
it might be. It has been the last couple of years.
You never know.
I'll make a prediction right now. I'm going to say one of the 2 South American teams, Brazil or Argentina, will win the whole thing. That's my guess.
Well, Argentina, I don't know. Just tried.
I want either Messi or Ronaldo to win it, though.
I mean, Messi. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Did the Norway team even make it out of?
No, Holland did not make it.
That's sad.
They need to make it next World Cup when they got Holland, Odegaard, and then like Sorloth, who plays in the Spanish league.
I don't know. Odegaard's he's already been playing in the Norway team for a while because he's captain there.
Yeah,
Why didn't
but
he
you
make
gotta
it into the
think in
World
4 years he'll only be 27.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, we're all very young over here at Arsenal FC. You know, we're just doing really well.
But yep, that's all I really have to talk about. What have you go next?
I can talk about some things, a show in particular.
Ooh.
So it's been airing for a while, and I guess I never mentioned it, but I started watching the male dancer iteration of Street Man Fighter.
Street Man Fighter.
Yes. A lot of crews that I'm familiar with, actually. One crew was already eliminated. I won't spoil anything in case people are catching up. Because I think I'm 1 episode behind from last week. But very, very good. I feel like as it is with like sequels or like trying to redo a series, I feel like it's always hard to recreate the magic of the first program, Street Woman Fighter. But the structure is pretty much the same. Boa was a returning judge. A couple of guest judges as well that are also in the idol industry. I feel like I'm still wondering, in a way, how we could make the judging a little bit more, I don't know, in the scope of these dancers, right? Because I feel like idol industry is a little bit different than dance industry, like professional dancer, choreographers. So I don't know. I just still feel a little iffy on that, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do for the show, for ratings.
Here's the thing. My question is, right, like, this was the problem Show Me the Money had in season 2, 3, 1, that kind of situation where, like, the judges were, like, questionable people, and they were chosen based on general public appeal, and people that I thought would be more appropriate as judges were actually contestants, such as Swings, who was a contestant on season 2, at which point was already like high enough in the industry to be a judge on that show, but like obviously doesn't have the same amount of name value as someone like Yeondo from like Deuce. And that's, I think, what makes the recent seasons of Show Me the Money a lot more sense is that we have people like Jay Park, the quiet judging. They are, well-established OGs of the industry now. Who would you guys hire? That's the thing, as like a judge, because like I'm seeing 1 million, I'm seeing the judge off of Produce on one of these shows.
Yeah, like these are people who've been in the industry for a really long time.
Right.
I think the way they've tried to kind of blend like both the choreographer perspective and like the heavy dance industry background with the, I guess, pop idol industry background in the set judges is to have guests. So in the challenge that I finished from a couple weeks ago, they had a guest judge from a very popular crew from the US.
Mike Song, right?
Yes, yes. I didn't know if I wanted to spoil it, but yeah, he was one of the guest judges, which makes sense to me. Like he also recognized like the crews because like yeah, he's seen Just Jerk. Like they've been in internet like in the same international competitions. So like I that makes sense to me. Like okay, bringing in more guest judges that makes sense for these challenges. But yeah, I think the issue has been like the contestants are like could be the judges, right? And I thought like, oh, maybe we'll have the women from Street Woman Fighter be judges, and they kind of were for the preliminary stuff, the Be Ambitious program. But I think the reason why they couldn't be judges for the main show was because they have connections with these crews. So it would be like a conflict of interest here. So
that doesn't mean crap to Mnet though. They don't care.
I mean,
about that.
I guess they could have done it. I just feel like they didn't want to for some reason. Yeah, like I feel like, for example, one of the crews has a member that is the boyfriend of one of the leaders of one of the crews from Street Woman Fighter. So I feel like they already knew that. They already knew that connection because they were featured in the original show. So I feel like okay, I kind of see like maybe it's could be messy.
See, I'd understand if it was a group of people who are ethically motivated, but that doesn't apply to Mnet. That
You think that's not the issue?
no, they've been much more shady about this crap way too many
Yeah.
times at this point. Where I'm like, that doesn't sound like something Mnet would do. You know, they wouldn't care about ethical fairness. You kidding me? That's not them. That's not who they are. They make content that's really fun to watch at whatever cost. That's my
Yeah,
take.
I mean, well, the show's gonna continue on. I believe another crew has already been eliminated. I have yet to like catch up on that, but I don't know. I like it pretty like not as much, but like probably kind of on par with the first season. I guess because they kind of just relied on the same structure of the show. There's not a lot that has changed. The songs are pretty nice. They're doing a lot of more like personal things for the crews, like making them have like a personal theme song and stuff like that.
That's cool.
I thought that's interesting. But yeah, I like that there's still a bit of a push for dancers. I think the hype has died down a little bit, honestly, since Street Woman Fighter came out like a bit ago. But I think it's nice. I like the show.
Those Street Woman Fighter girls are still all over TV.
Oh,
They I feel
On
like they will
everything.
never go away. And I mean I don't mind it. I honestly really enjoyed them. Like as people, I thought they were really funny.
I keep seeing Gabi in like all the YouTube varieties I watch.
I can't handle Gabby, dude. Gabby, I can't, dude. Too much.
Also, I really like the song from Zico and Homito that was on Street Woman Fighter.
Tipping.
Yeah, 나는 새삥 모든 게다 새삥. Very addicting.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just the song being popular, but seeing how that song was so all over the media, it still feels like Street Man Fighter has a big place in popular culture in Korea. I think that's really cool. Maybe not as big as Street Man Fighter, but maybe big in a different way. That's my takeaway with the thing
Yeah.
so far. We shall see, because if we know how Mnet does what they do, we're gonna see Street Woman Fighter 2. We're gonna see
Oh,
Street Man
God.
Fighter 2. We're gonna see Show Me the Money. We're doing Show Me the Money season 11 next week. 11.
Jesus Christ.
For real?
Season 11. 11 years of this thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
I didn't know we had this many rappers for this show. God. So hopefully you guys have enough dancers for season 5 of Street Woman Fighter.
Oh dear.
If it's anything like the way Show Me the Money ran it, Street Woman Fighter and Street Man Fighter is introducing this whole art to a lot of the general public who's gonna become dancers. Who knows? And then we end up with this industry that's too crowded and there's too many people and they can't survive. The art form cannot survive without this amount of money that the TV shows have brought.
The
in,
thing
and
I
it's a
always thought
huge
was
bubble that's waiting to burst. That's what might happen. So don't be just excited.
okay.
Be careful. Is what I'm saying. Sorry. Yeah. What's up?
The thing I was always curious about the Street Woman Fighter ladies are, if you think about it, right? A lot of them were backup dancers slash, just dancers in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have gotten so popular that they can't do their old job anymore. Like
It would be
yeah,
weird
yeah.
to see them as backup dancers. Yeah.
right? So they've kind of. That's why I was talking to my mom about this. Like they need to make money now while they're popular because
Yeah.
they can't go back to just being a backup dancer. Because let's say someone releases a song, right, and they have backup dancers, and you're just like, oh wait, that's Monica. It would take away from the artist, right? Unless
Yeah.
Monica plays an
Yeah.
important role in the music video or the choreography or something, right? Which J Park did with Nxde, right? She was a main part of one of the music videos. But they've kind of priced themselves out of their original profession, a lot of these girls.
Yeah. So that's the issue that Show Me the Money brought along for a lot of these rappers.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the thing. You have this niche indie piece of culture that is suddenly introduced to so much money, and they have a lot of money now. They have to rely on this new thing to maintain their level of success, where they become so distant from where they were in the beginning. So I don't know what it's going to look like for these folks, because obviously rappers weren't backup rappers, they were just rappers. But at the same time, this is where I brought up Gabby earlier. She's very much a variety personality now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's working out for her because she's funny. I'll take that. There was this thing recently where there's a Korean YouTuber called Jonathan, who is like a black dude who's not able to speak anything but Korean because that's where he grew up.
Oh,
He
I've
grew up in
seen
Korea.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had this like fake, courtroom situation with his sister, and like his sister was represented by Gabi, and I was like, yeah, this girl's pretty funny. I'd like to see more of her. And here we are. So, yeah, Street Man Fighter. It's cool.
We'll see how it goes.
Shout out to Jonathan too. He's been popping off lately. Like his online content's very funny.
He is
Like,
very
I
funny.
think-
Yeah. It's
Yeah, he's at the level where he's like interviewing twice and stuff in his content these days.
and he's so bad at interviewing. That's what's funny
so
about
funny.
it.
Yeah.
There's been this rise of young individual YouTubers that's been like randomly interviewing all these big people. Like Nxde is also an instance.
Oh
where
yeah. I like her show.
Her show is a little
So
too high
funny.
energy, but I'll buy
It's
it.
so funny.
It is very funny. She's like screaming all over the place because she's drunk. Good lord.
So loud.
No, she's great.
Online content these days for Korean entertainment sometimes better because they could bend the rules a lot more and do crazier stuff.
Sometimes better. No, TV content's dead. Sorry. TV is a
is.
dead format in Korea, if you ask me. Or I wouldn't actually. Dead is an over exaggeration. It is not relevant to the tastes of myself. Is what I'll say. Because I don't really watch anything on there anymore except for Show Me the Money. That's airing next week. Show Me the Money season 11. We'll see what happens. Apparently, Youngji's gonna be on it.
Oh?
She was crying in the trailer. I guess spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know. If anything, the way I know Mnet does things, she's crying because she's happy, but it looks like she's crying because she's sad. So
Youngji? Oh my goodness.
Youngji.
She's gonna be a big favorite, right? To win it, I would assume.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that show. But didn't want to talk about Korean TV today. I had two things I wanted to mention, both of which are chronologically relevant, which we're lucky because this wasn't the plan for today. Today we actually had plans for actual content today. I just didn't have time to actually visualize everything for this
Still
show.
in the works.
Yeah. Give me a little more time. I ran out of time because work's been a little stressful these days, but that's okay. That's sometimes that happens. That'll happen next week. But anyways, there is a Korean movie, aka 헤어질 결심, aka Decision to Leave, released this year in Korea earlier. I was able to see it in Korea while I was there. It is a masterfully well-made movie. it's one of those movies that you watch and like you're emotionally in a different place for like a couple days. And maybe it's because it was coming right off of a very emotional series of events for me, but at the same time, I'm not the only one claiming this. This has been propped up as probably one of the best movies of the year, if not the decade. Which I don't know. I feel like that says a lot. The director is Park Chan-wook, which some people, if you know who that is, you know who it is. You've seen Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. You've seen Handmaiden, all of which are very not a little edgy, a little dark, a little twisted, very much thrillery. He's done Old Boy too. I don't know why I mentioned that. Snowpiercer is another big one, right?
Yes.
Right, a little twisted, a little satirical, a little funny, but also like dark, really, you know. But Decision to Leave is a little bit of a departure from that. It's still a thriller. It's very much a thriller. And at the same time, it's a very romantic thriller that tells the story of a man and a woman. And I'm not gonna get into the details of the plot because the more you dig deeper into it, the more you know. And it's way better off not knowing anything about the plot. Or maybe you should watch the trailer. It's about two people and they fall in love to a certain degree. The thing is, just like Parasite, for instance, Park Chan-wook does such a good job with like mise en scène and like portraying the plot and the emotions visually. It's such a beautiful movie. I kid you not, it is one of the most beautiful movies I've seen, and each shot means so much. It's one of those movies that I would want to watch twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
A lot to unpack, do you think?
There's so much to unpack, and to a degree where like the first time I saw it, I realized I'm missing so much of the details as they fly by, because you can tell there's a lot of stuff that's like crammed into it, but it's you know, I mean, you got to follow the plot, which all of it's very engaging, and there's not a moment where you're like kind of bored or anything. One great movie, honestly.
Nice.
People in Korea have been saying it's gonna get the Parasite treatment with all the awards and whatnot, and I mention this now because the movie is starting to be released in American theaters. I myself already bought tickets to go see it this week.
Repeat the title for everyone at home one more time, just so they know.
Decision to Leave. Decision to Leave.
I got some news that I need to talk real quick in between the two things you want to talk about. First one, there are reports that Jin has received the song from Coldplay, and the song collaboration between Jin and Coldplay will be released by the end of the month. So that's number one.
Oh wow.
Number two, Anita, TVXQ's Changmin became a father.
Congrats.
Oh wow.
He had previously gotten married in 2020, but now he had a child now. So that's cool.
Happy family.
Oh wow.
Yep. Cool.
Lots of breaking news on a Monday evening or a Tuesday morning for them, I guess.
All right, continue, Aaron.
Yes.
Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave. Watch that, please. Please. You will not
I want to see
regret
it. I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, you're gonna be emotionally damaged for a couple days.
Oh no.
But in a good way.
Okay.
You will enjoy it. Trust me. That thing aside, there is I talk about Star Wars on this show every now and then because I grew up with Star Wars and that's what I like. That being said, a lot of the stuff that Disney has done with Star Wars, I don't know. Call me a hater. Not a big fan. This is just what it is. You know, the Disney trilogy, not big on it. I liked The Mandalorian. That I actually liked. I liked Rogue One too. I actually like a couple, I guess. But like Obi-Wan was, I don't know. I think I had like too much expectations going into it, where it was such a big of a letdown. But I'm guessing none of this makes sense to some of y'all because y'all don't even know what this is.
Correct.
Here's the thing though. There's this new show from the franchise called Andor, Andor, that's airing right now on Disney Plus. And I would recommend it to people even if they've never seen anything from Star Wars, because
How does it fit to the Star Wars story or like universe, I should ask?
It is the prequel of a prequel.
Yeah, it's prequel to Rogue One, which is a prequel of the first movies, right?
Also going back further in time before things happen.
Right. So so there is a character in Rogue One that's pretty prominent. It's the story of how the character became who he is, essentially. Right.
Okay.
And we're starting off with this guy called Andor, who's like a nobody in the middle of nowhere. And he's just, this dirty little dude in the middle of nowhere. And you follow this nobody, and you watch him develop himself into like who he is in Rogue One. Which, if you've seen what the movie is, you'll know how he ends up. If not, that's still fine. This is one of those shows that you do not need to know what Star Wars is in order to watch. There's no mentions of Darth Vader. There's no mentions of the Force, the Jedi, and all. There's no Yoda. There's no Obi-Wan. There's no midichlorian counts. It's just straight up just a good show. And I would easily recommend it for a lot of folks, because so far it's been really, really engaging. People have been saying it's like the first show to come out of Disney Plus that feels like an HBO show, and I feel like that says something. The level of maturity and the level of killing people is.
Okay.
It's kind of high especially for something that's coming out of Disney, where Disney is very much like, family friendly. The dead person is actually not dead. Ha ha ha. Oh, Goofy, he's not dead.
You're making
I don't know what I'm doing. You get the idea, though. It's a lot more mature of a show, and I guess that's why it appeals to me, because I'm not 7 years old anymore. I'm sorry. So,
this is more character. This is like, instead of Star Wars being the main spectacle, this is character development in the world of Star Wars, right?
Yes, it's a very cool character development, character study set that just happens to be in a galaxy far, far away, a sci-fi setting. Do they have laser guns? Yeah, they do. They do. Nice. Do they have aliens that look like elephants? Yeah, they do. Do they have fake do they have fake intergalactic governments? Yeah, they do. But all of that's like a good playing ground, I think, for the main characters.
Cool.
And that's what's really cool about it. So,
the main actor Andor is Diego Luna, right?
Yeah.
He's reprised. Okay. I got it. I know where this is at now.
Yeah.
I've seen Road One, actually. I know what happens too. Wow.
There you go.
Diego Luna.
Here's the thing: even if you know the plot of Rogue One, that doesn't ruin the experience. Even if you do, even if you don't, I don't care. It's still a good show. You don't have to know anything about Star Wars. You don't have to be best friends with George Lucas to like this show. That's all I'm gonna say. And I feel like that says a little bit. And also my mouse stopped working. Why are you doing this to me, computer?
That's it though, right? For the show, I think, right?
Yeah. Go watch either one of those two things: Decision to Leave or Andor, or better yet, do both.
Both.
All right, Warren, I'm gonna put you on the spot, right?
Oh shoot.
Top 3 most likely to win. Show me the money 11.
I need to look at the list of people again.
You want the list? I'll give you the list. Well, you probably have the Korean list, but there's an English list.
Okay, let's look at this. Right, we got a couple folks. We have Noah Juza, Kitchioji, Wildland.
I know some of these people. Chillin' Homie, Crucial Star.
Homie's back.
Chillin' Homie, yeah. I feel like Crucial Star hasn't been relevant since that time he messed up, and everyone just knew him as Hayes' ex-boyfriend.
Oof.
Yeah, that was his peak popularity.
Right, when he was dating Hayes was the peak popularity.
All right. Nxde definitely has a huge chance, right?
Okay.
My issue with Nxde is that she's not putting out a project. Her ability as a performer is way out of this range. She's gonna do great, I think. Who else? There is a girl called Damini, Damini. I would probably say she's Rookie of the Year. Incredible rapper, incredible voice tone. Yeah. Her nickname is Simon Damini, like Simon Dominic.
Oh wow! If you're gonna come with that name, you better be good.
She's good. She's gotten so many shoutouts from everybody involved. She's great.
Oh,
so she's good.
Check her out.
A couple of the more popular names that you guys might not be aware of. There's a guy called Kep1er, big dude. incredible rapper. I still remember hearing his first album, and then he begins his first album with like a non-stop 16-bar verse about why he's not making any money, but he's happy. He's one of those folks that just do an incredible job of being a talented rapper. I think he's gonna do great. VMC. The other one that's kind of in a similar route is Don Malik. Don Malik is also right. You might have heard of him. He's also an incredible rapper who is incredibly talented. Part of Ambition Music. He's gonna do great.
Bro, some of these guys need to stop coming on the show. They come way too often.
Yeah, like,
Jamez, Yoonbi, like these dudes show up every year.
Are they back again?
Yeah, Jamez is back.
They're not gonna get any screen time. Straight up.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Someone
who I saw, which is kind of weird. Weinstein.
Huh? Weinstein?
Weinstein's gonna be on here. I don't think he is.
Yeah, that's on the English list. It said he's on there.
That might be incorrect.
What?
I don't.
Okay, I was gonna say that was kind of crazy if he's on there.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to.
Yeah, he has what he needs. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, Skull is coming out? Am I wrong? Why is this list of Skulls on here? Haha's rapper, I mean reggae buddy. No, right?
Yeah, no, I don't think you have the right list, sir.
Okay, well, some K Hip Hop Wiki is completely wrong then.
It's okay. There's another dude called Simba of Deja Vu Group. He's also very talented. Deja Vu Group is led by BY. It has Kundi Panda in it.
BY? Okay.
C-Jam Chelby is here as well. It's also a very talented rapper, although he might not have the same amount of general public appeal. I don't know. We'll see. There's also a guy called Take One.
Take One, okay.
Who was
Some of these guys are just not even trying with their rap names anymore.
Well, that's because his Korean name is Take One.
No. There's this one guy named Mob Psycho. Or Mob Psycho. It's like, come on, dude.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. I don't think his actual name is Mob Psycho.
Bro, this wiki page, it's Mob... Dude, look, it's on this website, Mob Psycho.
Mop. Psycho.
Okay, see, his Korean name is Mo Psycho.
Oh, it's most like PSY.
Yeah, MOPSYCHO. Mo Psycho.
Mo Psycho.
You know, we always talked about having a rap name. So I don't know how these guys pick these weird things, though. I don't know.
You could be Kim Hat.
Yeah, cool.
Because you wear hats.
Hey, if you were a rapper named Kim Hat and you ended up selling a really successful hat line, you would be great name, you know, like straight up, right? If my hats were fire.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's enough. Show me the money. I'm assuming this has been a long episode. But this has been SojuTalk episode 208. We'll see you guys next time, everyone. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.